Welcome to our homestead in Estonia. 4 years ago we started on an adventure that not only brought us closer to nature, but also challenged our passions and skills. Our names are Laura and Jonas, and we are originally from Flanders in Belgium. In this video we share our journey of our homesteading adventure in the northeast of Europe, and we explore how our work as a printmaker and a woodcraftsman fall together with the life on our land. Our adventure started with a dream of a simpler life, away from the busyness and in closer contact with nature. This island in Estonia called Saaremaa, with its forest and rugged empty coastlines, felt as a good match to us. The atmosphere on this island invites you to live a slower pace of life. Here, in this low-populated area in Europe, busy traffic is non-existent, yet the local town has everything we needed. Next to our wish to live a more self-sufficient lifestyle, we also wanted to follow our creative interests. I wanted to develop my artistic work as a printmaker, inspired by the nature around us, and my husband Jonas wanted to develop his woodworking skills. We didn't know how it would work out precisely, but we were committed to give it a try. So when the listing for the piece of land where we are now came up for sale, it felt like the perfect match. 2 hectares of land with an old shed and a tiny log house, and something we could afford in cash. We packed our stuff and drove the 2,300 kilometers to Estonia to sign the contract, and in the autumn of 2020 we officially moved to Estonia. The first year was far from easy. Not only we had to adapt to a new environment and culture, but at the same time we laid down the basis for our homestead. Energy, water and shelter needed to be taken care of. It was a race against the time to winter-proof the tiny wooden house we were now living in. We were making it airtight, putting in a stove and insulating the walls. We quickly had to build a compost toilet and improvised a small outside kitchen as there was no place inside. There was no running water, so we had to fill up containers at our old well. We also had to quickly find a way to protect our batteries of the off-grid system from the weather in the incoming winter. So Jonas started to build the first part of our future cabin, a big wooden chest to contain the energy system. That winter, inspired by my first snowy winter amidst the forest, I was carving my first wood blocks in front of the small stove and printing them on the floor. The silence of winter with its snowy blanket was so impressive. That winter we gathered firewood and building material out of our forest for the upcoming year. Although our lifestyle was physically challenging, there were so many moments of beauty and creativity in that first year. My work as a printmaker became heavily influenced by my environment, the big trees, the landscapes, and the spa culture of Estonia. Every woodcut I made was a way to document that peace and that quietude we felt here. For Jonas, learning to build was not only functional, as he wanted to create something of beauty with the materials that we gathered ourselves. From the buildings on our homestead to the handmade furniture inside the cabin, his hands worked with care and precision as he became a better craftsman over time. In the beginning, the changes in the landscape were quite transformative. We implemented the first part of our garden and built a small seedling greenhouse. Then we started on our new cabin. My first prints were now for sale in a farm shop on the island, and I made my first online sales as well. Our passions became a part of our daily life. We worked not only to survive, but to create, to build and to share with others. Over the 4 years, we discovered that homesteading is not only about growing your own food or building a cabin, but also about learning new skills every day and strengthening our creativity. My work as a printmaker is more than a way to provide income. It's a way to capture the love for nature and the life that we created here. For Jonas, his woodwork was not only a craft, but a way to capture the stories, or story inside the handmade buildings and infrastructure. My garden became a huge part of my life and provided us with a part of our daily galleries. We added chickens to the homestead for eggs, and soon after the goats and rabbits followed. We built a shelter for the goats, made a cordwood chicken house, and gave the rabbits a home. The past 4 years were filled with highs and lows as we proceeded to finish the interior of our little house. In the second year we added a round greenhouse, made with recycled windows and with the back walls in the cordwood technique. Inside we installed a shower space for guests, as we had now turned the little log house we lived in before into a guest cabin. All the while I was making my garden, or I was harvesting material for earth plastering the walls of our house, I was digging material out of a huge pit in front of the cabin that was to become a beautiful pond for rainwater catchment. Lastly, we added 2 more outside buildings, a firewood storage and a compost toilet, and a space to store our root vegetables and dry foods. In the past year, we significantly slowed down on the building projects as we welcomed our little daughter in the family. Now we are looking towards the coming years. There is so much more to build, to create and to discover. The nature and the surroundings keep inspiring us to enrich our lives in a practical and creative sense. We hope to add a beautiful art studio in the garden. I also hope to improve my technical printing skills and produce multi-layered production prints in color. I recently launched my webshop for my woodcut prints. On there, the new collection I developed over the past year or so is now for sale. I also have a special gift for the first 50 people joining my newsletter and ordering in handmade prints. They will receive the Oakland Cottage 2 as a gift with their order. Thank you for following along our journey. We hope our story inspired you to go after your own dreams, wherever they may take you. Feel free to subscribe and follow along as we continue to strive to live a fulfilling life. Let me know in the comments what you think of our adventure, and I hope to see you in another video. Ciao!